Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good evening, good evening. For those of you that decided to stay up late. Hey, what's up, Zach? Got Big Zach in the room. Win with Zach. Got to make sure you guys are all taking a look at Zach's channel if you haven't already done so. Give you guys a few minutes here. I usually try to get started a couple of minutes before, and tonight looks like I jumped on right at 7. So we'll give you all a couple of extra seconds to join the room. Just seconds, though, not minutes. I'm too impatient tonight. What's up, Harvey? What's up, Mike? When did I was able to look myself up probably about 2 weeks after I was sentenced. I could see myself in the BOP, and it just said not in BOP custody yet. It didn't have an out date or anything like that, but it did have my name. Didn't even say what prison you're going to go to. So when you can see yourself prior to getting there, it will just say not in BOP custody yet. So probably not as exciting as you're hoping. Holy Hunter Moore. All right, what's up, Hunter? You got a real name out there now. You changed it finally from Fish Scales or whatever it was. For those of you that don't know who Hunter Moore is and you want to read a very interesting story, you can Google The Revenge Porn King. It's also on Netflix. They made a whole fucking series about it. But Hunter Moore was one of my very, very first clients who went to federal prison. And he just made an awesome transformation, you know. But yeah, take a look him up, guys. Look up Hunter Moore. Interesting story there. He's been on Dr. Drew. He's been on all kinds of crazy TV shows. Juan Carlos, what's up? Chris, what's up? Chris, you and I need to talk, man. Haven't spoke to you in a while. Hope you're doing well. I literally haven't heard from you in like at least a week and a half, 2 weeks. Kind of missed my weekly updates on what's going on in the world of Chris. So we've got some awesome people in the house tonight, guys. We've got Hunter in the house. We've got Win with Zach in the house. These are all guys that did prison and are proof that you can succeed. Life after prison is a real thing. Real thing. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit tonight is setting realistic goals. So why don't we just jump into that since we're kind of segueing in. So interesting enough, I received a phone call. I think it was Thursday or Friday of last week. I don't remember exactly. And I tried to make some notes during the phone call just because it was an interesting phone call. And I thought, man, how many people does this relate to? So I'll answer your question in a minute, Hunter. Yes, he is. He's doing really well. You're talking about Todd Hansen. Todd Hansen's doing amazing. So let me talk a little bit about this call that I received on Thursday or Friday. His name was, what was his name? This guy, Jeff. He's not a client or anything. Well, he is a client now. He was not a client when he called. He's been following me on YouTube for some time. He doesn't make it into the live chat because of the times that we go. And he gets up real early in the morning, so he never makes it into the live chats. Well, he called me up, and he basically just called me up to say, hey, man, I think what you're doing is really good. Your videos have really helped me. I'm going to be heading off to federal prison soon. I was just sentenced, and I really just wanted to say thank you for everything you're doing. And I think that I'm prepared now. And I said, that's awesome. And we're going through it, just talking. I said, so, what are your goals? He said, well, I'm just talking to my family a lot, making sure they understand what's going on. And I'm looking to get into prison and just get into shape and get my mind right and come out a better person. So we're going through that. And, look, half the battle, guys, and I put it in the description of this video, half the battle is obviously mental, right? Half the battle is having the right attitude, making sure you're preparing properly. But that's just half the battle. So what's the other half of the battle? What work is required? So if I say to you guys, hey, what are your goals? And you just say to come out of prison a better person, or to understand where my thinking went wrong. Okay, what does that mean? What is your plan that you're willing to put into place, and how hard are you really willing to work for it? Because anybody can say anything they want, right? Talk is fucking really cheap. Like talk has no value to it at all. It's probably the most overstated type of comment out there is what we're all going to do. But there's a difference in saying what you're going to do in the end result. There doesn't have to be, but there has to be a roadmap to get you from here to here, or else it's just all cheap talk. So I asked him, I said, okay, I understand, that makes a lot of sense. I said, do you mind me asking you a question? He goes, yeah, that's why I called. So what are you doing to prepare? You said you're going to do these things. And he said, well, I'm just going to figure it out when I get into prison. Okay. You're going to figure it out when you get into prison. So digging a little bit deeper and getting him to think about that, it's like, well, why are you waiting to get into prison? If you want to become a better person when you get out of prison, what does that mean when you say better person? You have to dissect these things. You have to rip it apart from the inside out, because if you don't, you're going to be lost and confused and not know what you need to do. And then, a couple of months before you get released, all of a sudden, you're going to try to go through this transformation process. And the problem is where you start now and where you end up. If you don't start soon enough on whatever process that you're trying to put yourself through. Because guys, remember, change is not an immediate event. It is a process. It is going to take time to change the type of person that you are right now to become the type of person you want to be. So if you're looking to create new habits, you don't just start these new habits 30 days, 60 days, 90 days before you leave prison. You start these habits today before you get into prison, and you carry them through and you practice them through and through and through, because if you don't, it's not going to do you any good. So talking to this guy about what his plan was, he obviously wants RDAP, and I asked him how his character he hasn't been sentenced yet. I'm sorry, he has not been sentenced yet. He's getting sentenced. I asked him how his character reference letters were, and he said, yeah, they're pretty good, this and that. I asked him how his personal narrative was, and he said, it's great. So I said, if you want, send it over and we'll take a look at it. Emailed it over to me, took a look at it, and by any means, it was not bad. It wasn't like people saying bad things or irrelevant things about him. The problem is the theme, which is a typical theme. It was all about feeling sorry and looking for sympathy and using he actually, let me see if I made notes here. He had a couple of children that this is going to be hard on going to prison, no doubt. If you got a 7-year-old child and a 9-year-old child, there's no doubt this is going to be tough on your kids, especially if they're used to being around you 24/7. But when you're using that in an angle to the judge, making statements like, Your Honor, this is going to be extremely hard on my children. They've never been away from me from this period of time. I don't know how they're going to handle it. Making those type of statements, the only reaction you're going to get from the judge is, well, dipshit, you probably should have thought about that before you committed your crime. So we went through some of this with him, and he ended up realizing that, okay, he even said, he goes, I've read this, or I've listened to this in all of your videos, but this is still my end result, my end product. It's because it's like this human nature for us to want to defend ourselves, and thinking the only way the judge is going to understand that is if almost we ask it directly. Please, Your Honor, don't give me jail time, give me probation, because I really don't want to go to prison. Not to mention it's going to be really hard on my kids and my family and all these things, which are probably true. But that's not the real reason why we don't want to go to prison. We don't want to go to prison because it sounds really bad. We would much rather do anything else. I've seen people make statements saying they would rather go join the military and be on the front line on a firing range, taking bullets back and forth, than go spend time in federal prison. That's only because you haven't been to federal prison yet and you have no idea how cakewalk it can be for a camp or a low. So after going through this round and round with him for a little bit and making sense, he actually called me over the weekend and said, hey, I think maybe it would benefit me if I were to not only hire you to help me with my letters, but also to come up with a plan of action while I go into prison, because that bothered him all weekend. He said on Father's Day, he couldn't get over it. He was thinking about it. And he realized that he doesn't know what he wants to do when he gets released from prison. And more than that, he has zero plan. He's got a plan to go in there and work out and get in shape. That's easy to do while you're in prison. Almost everybody does that has a desire to get healthy. So I thought this would make for a really good YouTube video, because how many of you are getting ready to go into prison and you know that you need to change your mindset and you're planning on changing your mindset, but you haven't started it yet, or maybe you don't know where to start. So what are you guys going to do to better your situation? I actually, why don't you guys, you don't even have to answer right now, because it may not be the easiest question to ask. So I'm not looking for you to answer it. It's not important that you tell me what you're going to do, but I think it's important for you to tell yourself. So if you do feel like emailing me or texting me, preferably an email, because that way you can write it out, why don't you write out what your game plan is? And if those of you that are getting sentenced and you haven't been sentenced yet, and you're not a client of mine, and you're working on your personal narrative and your character reference letters, feel free to send them over to get some feedback. Feedback isn't going to cost you a dime, but it might make the difference if you're making a poor decision on one of these letters that you're going to be submitting to a judge. If these letters don't have valuable content in them, they're almost going to be completely pointless. The more time you prepare, the more time you give yourself to work with your friends and family who's going to be writing these letters, the better. Community service, and actually, Juan, you sent me a text message a few minutes ago. I really didn't have a second to respond, so I'll answer in here. Juan was asking, out of the people that are doing community service, how much of it has made an impact with sentencing and with judges. I only know of a handful of people that have actually gone out and done it, or at least have gone out and done it and reported back and followed it through with sentencing. A couple of guys are still waiting for sentencing, but 2 of the 3 you guys already know. You guys already know Todd. You already know Will. It made an amazing, it was an amazing pivotal point for them for making a difference at their sentencing. And how do we know this? Because the judge point blank commented to both of them that the effort that they put in between their letters, their community service, their actions. Remember, guys, action, action, action. You can have the best letters in the world. You can have, if your actions aren't matching up with what you're saying in your letters, it doesn't match up, right? It doesn't make sense. So your audio and your video need to be in sync, or else it makes a real shitty video. You guys have seen some of my videos where the audio does not match the video, and people want to turn it off sometimes because something doesn't seem right. Well, the judge will see that. If your audio does not match your video, you can almost guarantee to have some sort of non-desirable result or an outcome. So it does make a difference. One way or another, it is going to make a difference, even if it's only a difference for you, for who you are, for what you're learning about yourself. Forcing yourself to go through these uncomfortable situations and do things that you're not used to doing can make a massive, massive, massive difference. So I thought that was an interesting topic because a lot of us, we have plans. We know we want to do things. We know we want to have aspirations and dreams and goals. But how many of us actually plot and plan for these goals and make short-term goals to be able to reach our long-term goals? Having a positive attitude, yes, is important. I'm not taking anything away from that. But a positive attitude is only going to get your foot in the door to wherever you're going. And getting your foot in the door is definitely half the battle, but you need to follow through with that battle and do the other parts that are completely required. And that's put in the hard work and the effort along with the great attitude. And what you're going to find is sometimes it's not easy to have a positive attitude and a great attitude when you've got adversity kicking you in the face every 3 seconds. But that's when you're truly tested. That's why it's so important to create new habits now going into prison, especially leading to when you're getting out of prison. Because, look, there's going to be times in prison where you're not going to realize how good you have it in prison. Shit's done for you. Food, exercising, I mean, it's just all set up for you. It's already right there. You don't have to worry about getting a job, maybe some BS prison job, but you're not worrying about supporting your family from in prison because, honestly, you really can't, right? You can't support your family in prison because you're in prison. So you come to terms with that and you accept it and you just go about your day. Your day is going to consist of, studying. It's going to consist of programming. It's going to consist of going and working out, doing things with your friends, stuff that's all going to make your day go by relatively quickly. So now you're implementing this positive attitude and you're doing it in an environment where most of the time you're in a pretty good mood. So now let's talk about when you get released from prison, or let's talk about something bad happening. You find out all of a sudden you thought you were shoo-in for RDAP and you find out you don't get RDAP. What does your mind do then? Are you using those tools that you've been building to keep yourself out of dwelling on these negative things that you can't control? Or do you give into it and you say, this is all a waste of time? I don't know why I'm even trying. There's no point for me to put effort in because they're just going to keep kicking me while I'm down. If you find yourself resorting to that type of mentality, that's when you have to identify that, okay, this is an issue. There's always going to be things in life that aren't going to go your way. Always going to happen. And you have to be prepared how you deal with that. No one's saying you're not allowed to have a bad day, or no one's saying that you're not going to feel an emotion. But if you allow that emotion to take control of who you are, and it just takes over, and this negative cancer starts spreading through you, it's going to turn you to the dark side. And now you're going to become that person. So sometimes it's really hard to fight that. But I can tell you, as soon as you do and you fight it and you battle it, and whether it's take a nap, go for a walk, go eat something, go work out, go talk to a peer or a mentor. Having your mentor network out of prison and inside of prison is huge, because you're going to need people that you can positively go to in the time of a stressful moment in prison, that you can confide in, that you can talk to, that you can get guidance from. So this has got to be a person that you trust in what they're going to say and do for you. Now, ultimately, what you do is up to you. How you react is up to you. Decisions and actions that you make are up to you. You can't always necessarily control exactly how you're going to feel in the moment of something, but you can 100% control how you react. If somebody comes up and calls you a name, you do not have to react in a negative way. You can walk away. Seems like it might be the punk thing to do in prison, but it's going to be the thing that gets you home to your family sooner. We all go into prison by ourselves. We're all leaving prison by ourselves. So there's no point in holding on to some bullshit code of honor in there where you can't be disrespected. Most of you aren't going to the medium or the pen, so allowing yourself to not react to some bullshit being disrespected and thinking about your family and your freedom first is where you got to keep your mind frame. Easier said than done. I'll be the first one to admit that. I'm a pretty humble person, and there's times where, I get tested and I have to remind myself of what I try to do every day, what I try to come on here and share with you guys. And I feel like, man, how shitty would it be if I did something out in public and it became public, like let's say I got in trouble and went back to jail for something stupid. I reacted poorly. I didn't like the way somebody spoke to me. I didn't like that somebody cut me off on the interstate, and I decided to chase him down and make sure I could give him the finger or cut him off so I could feel better. Cause an accident, somebody gets hurt, next thing I know, I'm in trouble, all because of nothing, of overreaction on my part. People are going to be douchebags everywhere you go. Just think of it as a test. Think of it as like, every time you react the way you want to react in a positive way, think of that as you moving a little bit further up on the chain of evolution. We do not need to be a product of what other people think we're going to be. People see you going to prison, they just imagine you're always going to be like this. They think, here it is. He must have did something horrible. He's going to prison. Those are people that don't know yet. They're blind. They're blind to how the system really works. So you can't expect them to understand. They have to be willing to understand. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about a little bit today. Let's see if I have any other information from this guy. But he's, really, really nice guy. Perfect candidate because he's realizing that he needs to make change. He's realizing that he wants to do all of these things, but he didn't put in a whole lot of thought and effort into what he actually wanted to do. So there we go. So what do we got going on here? They save. Reading some notes now. You guys are insane. Looks like I will participate in the chat, but have to catch the stream later. Well, Crystal, if you took off, I'm glad you were on here, and I hope to hear from you. I know you got some questions, and we can talk about that later. So how was everybody's Father's Day? Did you guys enjoy your Father's Day? For those of you that either have children or have fathers, and you guys got to see a little bit of Shelly yesterday on the live. I did a little quick live chat while we were heading off to Father's Day breakfast. Kind of put her on the spot there, trying to convince her to do a video about her story and how it was through her eyes, her experience of preparing for federal prison, in federal prison, what life has been like since federal prison. So, everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different to themselves. So even though Shelly and I went through it somewhat together, her answers and the way she sees things now might be a little bit different than the way I view it. So it'd be interesting to hear her story. So I think I've got her about convinced. She doesn't want to go live, though. She wants me to be able to edit it in case she makes herself look like a fool. So, but that's how everybody feels when they first get started on all of, talking to the public like this. So what'd you guys do for Father's Day? Anybody do anything good? What type of programs are there? Do you get halfway house time with a year and a day sentence? Michael, yes, you can get halfway house time. They don't have to give you halfway house time, but yeah, they can give you 2, 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months halfway house with a year and a day sentence. Your allowed amount of halfway house time has nothing to do with your prison sentence. It's not like home confinement, where home confinement is pretty much based on 10%. So they could give you a few months of halfway house, no question, Mike, for sure. My daughter was born May 31st. I enjoyed my first Father's Day for sure. Oh, that's awesome. I tuned in, seen that place you went to eat at. Well, that's awesome. Your daughter was just born, so you got a brand new little one in the house. So congratulations on your first Father's Day. My children are in New York City, so I didn't really get to spend any time with them. They texted me, which is about all I can expect right now, right? We got to be grateful for what we can have and not dwell on the things that we can't have. And I would love to have them every day if possible, but it's just not possible right now. They will be here in a couple of weeks. June 9th, they'll be rolling in. So, or June 6th. July 9th or July 6th. My kids will be here for about 3 weeks. So I'll make sure we might have a guest appearance one night or something, or a guest host. Maybe I'll have one of my daughters run the YouTube channel that night and talk to you guys. So that would be pretty interesting. So yeah, guys, seems like we've been missing a few people the last few live streams. Tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing a lady she didn't go into federal prison. Her husband's in federal prison. She's actually got a YouTube channel, not really anything to do with federal prison. She's got a makeup channel. Her name is Josie. And I'm going to interview her tomorrow, and then that will probably come out, Thursday or Friday. I'll have it ready, edited, and released. So that should be interesting to kind of hear what it's like for her watching her loved one go into the system while he's in the system now, how it's been for her. So I think you guys will be interested in that, especially for those of you've all got family that's going to be left behind. So this might be a good video for your friends and family. Hey, what's up, Will? I tried to call you a couple times, didn't catch up with you. I know you got some crazy stuff going on there. Shoot me a call or text me or email me, kind of let me know what's going on, my man, so we can catch up a little bit and have a chat. Thank you. Hopefully the food was worth the wait, but it makes things better even with my situation. Absolutely. And the food was good. The wait wasn't too long. We waited about 35, 40 minutes, and I was full the entire day. I ate so much food yesterday morning for Father's Day that I came home and just couldn't move. Ended up just like taking a couple of phone calls, and that was it. I was just out, like overate. Does Shelly ask you to keep the makeup on after? It's funny. Sometimes when I'm getting ready for my video, she's getting ready to go somewhere, out shopping or whatever, and she doesn't leave the house without makeup on. So there we are in the bathroom putting our makeup on together. But she hasn't asked me to keep. I don't even think she notices once I'm done with my video that I still have it. Sometimes I forget because I'll take a shower usually before I do the video and kind of wake up for the video. And sometimes I'll forget and I'll go to lay down. I'm like, oh shit, I have makeup on. I got to go wash my makeup off. So it's a little odd wearing makeup, but I've gotten used to it. Sorry, buddy, had court today. Oh shit, everything go okay, Will? If you want, you can call me after the stream. This isn't going to be a super long stream tonight. I plan on being off of the stream in about 15-20 minutes. So if you want to have a chat tonight, let me know. I know it's late on your end. It's only 7:30 here. Look how sunny it is outside, guys. Can you see that? The sun is beating through there. It's 7:30, and that sun will be like that till almost 8:30, 9 o'clock. It's like a damn sauna. We'll call you tonight then. Awesome. Very cool. How's the live stream tonight, guys? Is the video and the audio clear and matching up, or has it been choppy? It says my live stream health is good, so hopefully we're a little bit better than we have been. I'm going to do a video on it specifically to make sure we get everybody's attention, but we are going to be doing a contest, a drawing, a free giveaway, whatever you want to call it, but we are going to be doing a free giveaway for somebody that needs the consulting services. So we're going to be doing a free giveaway here in the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be full service. It's going to be everything you could possibly need. It's going to be your letters. It's going to be preparation of your PSR, making sure we review your PSR when it comes back, making sure you're prepared and you know what to say in order to qualify for RDAP. If you can qualify for RDAP, come up with a plan while you're in prison, come up with a mentor plan that you're doing right now. So we're going to really try to make sure that we do everything we can possibly do to get you guys completely prepared for federal prison. So we're going to be doing that giveaway. The giveaway we'll probably announce the winner either next week or the week after. We're going to start doing the giveaway. It'll probably be on the next stream. I'll have some information for you. We'll do a video on there, and we're going to make where you can text to enter to see if, to see who wins. So we'll have a special text something to 35074, and whoever enters that, it's going to be random. So this isn't based on who can afford it, who can't afford it. So this is not based on financial. This is purely based on us wanting to give something back to all of you guys for being so awesome. Part of reaching 1,000 subscribers. If it wasn't for you guys, I never would have reached 1,000 subscribers. So because of you all, we wanna return some of that favor and give you guys something back. For those of you that have not checked out Win with ZACK, Win with ZACK is a YouTube channel. His name is ZACK, and he's got a YouTube channel that is all about positivity, more or less. I guess if I had to sum ZACK's YouTube channel up, it's about staying positive, how to control your destiny, making positive choices. And what's really interesting about ZACK is he also did prison time. He did state prison time, 7-year bid, and didn't allow that to define him. The guy's got fucking tattoos. He's covered in tattoos. So if he walked into your house unannounced, you would probably be pretty scared. But once you get to know him and you get to talk to him, you're like, man, tattoos are just ink. Nothing more to it. But he's got tattoos, covered in tattoos. And he's an amazing motivational speaker. I think you guys should really, really check out his YouTube channel. And here it is right here. And I'm not sure if that's his channel or no, that's his speech, but that will bring you right to his YouTube channel. That's a speech he gave at a Toastmasters event talking about his prison term and how it changed his life, and talks about how found out while he was in solitary confinement that his sister passed away on an overdose of heroin. I still can't imagine, especially if you're close to your siblings, on how something like that would affect somebody that's in solitary confinement, and then the prison only allowing you a 30-second phone call, not a 30-minute phone call, a 30-second phone call to call family, get some details, and then you got to fucking sit with that in your mind for the next however many days or weeks you're stuck in solitary confinement. So make sure you guys do me a favor. It means a lot to me if you head over to Zach's channel and at the very least subscribe and show him some support. He also just hit 1,000 subscribers. I hit 1,000 subscribers first, but I'm just messing with you, Zach. But he just hit 1,000 subscribers, guys. And as you all know, content is important to keep interest, obviously, right? But these aren't the type of YouTube channels that are like you're going to go watch like racing cars or motorcycle accidents or people getting knocked out or funny videos or pranks. This is like real life content. This is for people that are going through some shit, that need some help. So it's a smaller niche market of interest that's going to get gathered by it, which is a complete relation to right now why there's only 3 people in the chat room, right? It's Monday night. Usually we've got 10 or 15 people. We've only got 3 in here tonight, so something's going on. I don't know if the weather or maybe you guys are just getting a little sick of rdapdan. But anyway, it's hard to build that kind of following with this type of content. Only way you can do it is if you have a passion for it and your heart and soul is into it, because I can tell you right now, it is not about the money. We're not making big YouTube bucks over here like some people might think. You don't start making any type of money on YouTube until you have, 500,000 followers. Like if you're Joe after prison show, Joe's making money off YouTube, or at least he should be. I don't know what he's making, but I guarantee you that is when you start seeing YouTube dollars. So Zach's not doing it for the YouTube money. I'm not doing it for the YouTube money. So I think it would be awesome if you go over to Zach's channel and subscribe to it and show some support for people that take the time and the effort to put content out to give the few of you that are willing to go out and seek positive reinforcing content. That's who these channels are designed for. The far and few in between, but we catch you in our net and we make sure we let you know that there's people out there that think about you, that care about you, that want to see you succeed. I got a couple of calls today of people that are going through a struggle, that are financially tapped, and doesn't, it's like, hey, give me a call. Let's see what we can do. Let's talk about it. Let's see what you're working with. Not everybody is going to have that financial stability to go hire a $10,000 prison consultant. I get that more than anybody. I was that person. I was that person that didn't have any money to hire a prison consultant. So I know how needed it can be for the right person. So all you got to do is pick up the phone and call 509-434-4695. Make sure you text the word YouTube to phone number 35074. Zach, I don't know if you ever did that or not, but all you got to do is text the word YouTube to 35074. That will put you on a notification list. And Zach, you and I do need to speak maybe either tonight or tomorrow. I don't know how your schedule is, but you and I can speak, and I can show you how to get access to this as well for your YouTube channel. Because look, guys, community as method. If I'm helping Zach, who knows indirectly? I've already had somebody that watches Zach, that knows all about Zach, saw the video I did on Zach, and they reached out to me to say thank you for what I did for Zach, and they're offering exposure on their end for what they do in Zach's home state. So what goes around comes around, guys. If you do it for the right reasons, good things will eventually happen. That's all I got to say about that. Is that something that's like Forrest Gump, right? That's all I got to say about that. Jenna, that's it. I'm going to go roll out of here, get some dinner. I'm a little bit hungry. Go wash my makeup off. Tell us some more about what goes down in RDAP. Oh, man. Juan, you're trying to scare everybody tonight. All right, we'll extend it for a minute because Juan Carlos just asked a question. So, man, I wish I had like 15 people that all did RDAP that were willing to make like an RDAP reenactment video. It'd be pretty horrible to watch, guys. RDAP is scary. RDAP is probably one of the hardest, scariest things I've done in my entire life because there's so much that goes on in the confines of the RDAP unit. And you're confined, everybody that's in that unit are all people that are in RDAP. Okay, these are all people that are in the residential drug addiction program. When you sign up for RDAP, one of the little pieces of paper you sign is to fully cooperate. Cooperation consists of a couple of different parts. It consists of engaging in the morning meeting and cooperating in the morning meeting. It consists of engaging and cooperating in what's called content. That's your classroom where you go in to do the book work. You're also agreeing to engage in process group. Process is usually 1 day a week. Process is where you're with a group of guys and you talk about your life. You talk about problems that you may have had, trying to, maybe you were abused as a child, or you didn't get enough hugs, whatever's going on. You're addicted to crack, or you watched your mom addicted to crack and how this affected your life, and people will break down and cry in these groups. And that can be hard by itself, but you're also, when you sign that piece of paper, you are agreeing to participate in holding each other accountable. That can be the single toughest situation because holding each other accountable is a nice way of saying, I'm going to tell on you if I see you do something wrong, whether it be stealing something out of the chow hall, whether it be using loaded words like, hey, go fuck yourself. If you were to say that to somebody in RDAP and they tell on you, that's an issue because you're potentially engaging in what could lead into a violent situation, right? Telling somebody to go fuck themselves, they could react poorly. Next thing you know, you're in a fight. So anything can get you in trouble in RDAP. Leaving the water running when you're done washing your hands. Lying. Not participating enough. I mean, if I see you do something wrong and I don't tell on you and somebody else sees me see you, I could get in trouble for enabling you. And if somebody brought that to their attention, I'm in more trouble for enabling you than you are for committing the actual offense that you committed. So you're required to tell on people in a group of a surrounding of anywhere from 80 to 150 guys in a morning meeting. You have to stand up and hold up your hand and say your name, and then you tell the person, like whoever you're going to tell on, Hunter Moore, who's in this room right now. I don't know if he's still here. He went through RDAP. He'll tell you. You got to stand up and say, this morning I'd like to pull up Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore was seen yesterday behind the racquetball court smoking a cigarette, and he didn't think anybody saw him. Well, Mr. Hunter Moore, you're struggling with entitlement, thinking you're above the rules, thinking that the rules don't apply to you. You know that you're not allowed to smoke cigarettes in prison. Especially being an RDAP, you're held to a higher standard. So not only are you hurting yourself now, but if you're making these kind of decisions now and you decide to make the same type of poor decisions when you get released from prison, this is something that could bring you right back into prison. How I want you to work on it is I want you to write a 5-page essay on why breaking the rules and smoking within the BOP could lead you to come back to prison at a later date. And you have to have this done within 3 days. I also want you to go talk to 3 senior peers on how this behavior could lead you back to prison as well. And I want you to give us feedback in the morning meeting next week on what you got from these 3 senior peers. Then somebody's going to follow you around with a piece of paper and tell you, hey, these are the things you got to do, and you have to have them done by this date. So when you finish them, bring me proof that you finished them, and I sign you out of this little checkbook, letting everybody know that you did it within the amount of time you were given to do it. So there's a lot of stuff, guys, a lot of stuff that goes on in RDAP, because these little cliques grow and form to where people know they have to tell on you. So cliques try not to tell on each other within the clique, so they focus on, all right, we're going to tell on so-and-so over there, and so-and-so is going to tell. It's like fucking Survivor. It's just you don't know where it's coming from, who's going to do it. Could be your worst enemy, could be your friend sitting right next to you, sticking you in the neck with a sword. So you don't know where it's coming from. But the one thing you can count on is it's going to happen, and it is absolutely part of the program. So, man, just deal with it when it happens. What would they say if you told them you're having mad, blunt cravings? All you want to do is get out, get off supervised released, and go. I mean, it's okay to say that initially in the beginning, Juan. But if you're in phase 3, it's okay to say, I have cravings, but I now have tools to help me deal with these cravings so I don't give in. We're always going to have cravings for something. But if you tell them that you don't know how to deal with the cravings and you're going to go smoke when you get off of probation, you are not going to make it through RDAP. They will remove you from the program if you're far enough into it and you're still talking that way. So either A, you've changed that way of thinking and you no longer want to do that, or B, you've at least learned that you can't say that and you say what is needed to be said. Chris, I missed your question, my man. Todd. Serge. Yep, Serge is all good. He's at the new prison. He said it's way better. He likes. Where's he at again? He went from Lompoc to Sheridan. He said Sheridan's way better than Lompoc. He said the only thing Lompoc had was the weight pile. He said everything else at Sheridan is better. And you remember how good he said Lompoc was. So that just goes to show you, like, camps are not that bad. He's getting into RDAP. He's been approved for it. He's moving along really, really well. Todd's loving life. He's doing really, really well. He's helping people. He's mentoring people in prison right now. He's doing everything that he can. Sean Cowgill is doing amazing. Sean says thank you to all of you that sent in donations. That helped him out a lot. That was much appreciated. That's also, I thank you guys for that as well. I think we ended up sending him, I forgot because we sent a couple people money that you guys sent in, but I think we ended up sending about $70 to Sean and then another $40 or $50 to another guy that's out there struggling. A guy, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. He was never in the chat room. He's just somebody that's in there struggling. So, if any of you ever want to, donate and help out for the cause, anything that you guys donate goes to help the guys that are currently in right now that are struggling. And the best way you can do that is there's a little money sign right down there by your text where you're typing, whether you're on your cell phone or whether you're on a computer. Just click that little money sign and you can donate whatever amount you want. $1, $2, $5, $5 million, whatever you guys want to do. Every penny of it goes to help somebody. So it's much appreciated. Donations are always accepted. None of it goes to me. I've said that before. None of that money goes into my pocket. That's what the consulting is for. Consulting money goes to help you guys and to pay the RDAP bills. Oh yeah. Can you swim in the ocean in Pensacola? I heard you could. I'm going to say no. I met a lot of guys that came from Pensacola. They got kicked out of Pensacola camp and got transferred to Coleman Low. And not one time did I ever hear about anybody going swimming. So I'm going to go ahead and say no, you can't swim. Now, maybe they had some kind of a cleanup duty where they were like cleaning up at the beach. And maybe the CO was cool and said, yeah, I don't care. Go swimming for 10 minutes. Just don't get in trouble. Who knows? That could have happened. But you're going to hear a lot of crazy rumors about Club Fed. Most of it's probably not true, stuff like that. But some prisons have movie theaters, like legit movie theaters on base that are usually set up for the people serving, whether it be Air Force, Navy, Marine, whatever it is, on these different bases. There's movie theaters sometimes that you guys are allowed to use. What's up, Edward? So hopefully that answers some of your guys' questions for the night. If you have any other questions, please text me, call me, email me. 509-434-4695. My email is rdapdan@gmail.com. It's posted right here on the screen. Make sure you guys do me that huge. When did you get Super Chat? Snapchat. Oh, I've always had it, just never use it. So add me. Oh yeah, guys, add me to Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. It's all at rdapdan.com or just all at rdapdan. So if you go to any Facebook, Instagram, even Twitter, I don't know why my Twitter tag's not up there, but it's all rdapdan. I'm the only one out there. So yeah, feel free to add me, and you get to see some different sides of rdapdan. But do me a favor, go to Zack's channel, Win with Zack, and make sure you subscribe to his channel, guys. That is something that is a huge benefit to me, because it shows that the people in our community are sharing, wanting to get this content out, looking for other people that can help, and showing that support. So make sure I just put it in the chat. You can click on that link and it'll take you right there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, like I said, I'll be doing a video with a young lady whose husband is in prison right now, and I think he had like a 10-year bid, and they're going through some emotional type stuff and how it was for her before, during, and we'll follow her through her journey till after. But he's in federal, so we get to hear some stuff that will be useful to your friends and family that are going to be left behind when you go on your camping trip. All right, guys, have an amazing night. I'm rdapdan. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like my channel, share it, tell the whole world about it. Without you guys, I'd be nowhere, so I love every single one of you. People helping people. Community is method. That's always going to be our motto. I will talk to you guys Wednesday night. Have an amazing night, guys. rdapdan. Peace.